Tonight on CTV News at 6. Critical minerals.
All roads lead through Sudbury if we want to build big and build the clean energy economy for our kids and grandkids.
The Minister of Energy and Mines was the keynote speaker at a chamber event in Sudbury. He says he was assaulted.
I tried to walk him across to get him out of the area, and then he headbutted me. And after he headbutted me, we were on the ground. I subdued him quickly.
A Sault Ste. Marie businessman talks about an altercation. And this blind dog from the Northeast is being honored.
He saved my life. Like, that dog is the best.
This pup is a new member of the Purina Animal Hall of Fame.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday, September 24th. It was a frightening time for parents. A 6-year-old child in Timmins Shores was abducted over the weekend. However, an arrest was made. Police were called to downtown New Liskeard on Sunday for a report of a missing child. OPP say the investigation revealed that the accused had knocked on the door of a home where the child answered. The child then accompanied the individual to a local park where they were found unharmed and was brought back home to their family. A 27-year-old man of no fixed address remains in custody. He is expected to appear in court next month. Sudbury businessman and founder of the Palladino Auto Group, Vincenzo Palladino, has passed away. In a post on Facebook, the Palladino Auto Group announced his passing yesterday. He started out with 3 used car dealerships in Sudbury called VIP's Carland in 1974 and grew the business from there. Condolences from across the Sudbury business community as well as the automotive industry have been pouring in on social media. The Sudbury Chamber of Commerce posting on LinkedIn that Palladino had left his legacy of entrepreneurial success on the community, adding, even more important, he exemplified what it means to invest in your community with a commitment to local causes, youth initiatives, and civic pride that went far beyond business. In memory of the company's founder, all Palladino Auto Group dealerships will be closed on Saturday, September 27th. Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines was the keynote speaker at the Greater Sudbury Chamber of Commerce annual general meeting today. CTV's Alan Everson has more.
You're going to have absolute certainty on the approval of your mine from the Government of Ontario across every ministry, every agency, within a 24-month period.
The Ministry of Energy and Mines talks to Greater Sudbury Chamber members about changes to cut red tape to open mines faster. It was a packed room at the Caruso Club with business people and community leaders learning about the provincial government's plan to help further develop and expand the local mining economy.
All roads lead through Sudbury if we want to build big and build the clean energy economy for our kids and grandkids. So the message was one of confidence that we could work together in partnership to build the mines, the processing.
When people talk about critical minerals in Ontario, it is about Sudbury. And so for me as mayor, certainly the more that I can advocate, ensure that they are aware of the critical importance and the strategic importance of Sudbury in that whole ecosystem of mining.
Lecce also highlights efforts to secure Ontario as a global leader in responsibly sourced critical minerals.
To end the ripping and shipping of Canadian resources so that we can create more value-added jobs in Sudbury, in Northern Ontario, and frankly, right across our country.
The minister says the provincial government continues to work with the federal government to end duplication, to unlock the development of the Ring of Fire, the largest undiscovered multi-commodity region in the world. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
And almost 300 people attended a State of Mining event over the lunch hour in Timmins today. They were learning more about what's happening with some of the city's most historic gold mines. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Sort of a situation where,
Discovery bought the historic Dome Mine in Mill, Hoyle Pond, and Powmore Mine in Timmins in January from Newmont. According to Discovery's president and CEO Tony McCooch, re-establishing the Dome mine is a game changer.
We're going to transform Timmins to definitely well over 500,000 ounces a year. And then if we, the work we're doing at Hoyle Pond with that TVZ zone, I think, we're going to build a new underground gold mine over the next few years as well. So those are pretty exciting. The opportunity to come into a 100-year-old mining camp and find new discoveries, I think, is pretty exciting.
McCooch predicts a long and prosperous mining future for Timmins. He says there are billions of dollars worth of gold beneath the city's surface.
We need alignment of people and vision and people working together, and I think there's a lot of things we can do together as a group, right? The only thing working against us is our energy. So if we all feel we want to do it, I'm sure we can accomplish it.
One business owner says he's doing his part to ensure there are skilled workers available.
We're sourcing people from over 40 different countries across the world, so from South America to the Philippines to Africa to even parts of Europe, where these individuals, for example, we do a lot of work with heavy equipment mechanics, so they're already working skilled, they're trained on Komatsu, Epiroc, Caterpillar.
McCooch says this is a good time to revitalize the community. He says the people before us gave 100+ great years, and it's time to set the future right for the next 100 years. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
OPP are investigating after a helicopter was damaged in Folliette. On September 3rd, the helicopter was parked at a property on Maple Street. Sometime between 6 p.m. that evening and 7:30 the next morning, vandals had broken the windshield and damaged the tail rotor, rendering the aircraft inoperable. The estimated cost of the damage is approximately $100,000, plus the chopper had to be shipped out of province for repairs. Anyone with information about the crime is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Okay, let's dial it back and talk weather. Not a bad day out there. Any more rain in the forecast? With that answer, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
Tony, for Greater Sudbury, Environment Canada has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Anywhere from 50 to 75 millimeters of rain in the forecast. As you can see in the yellow, this just happened just before 6. So hot off the presses, as they used to say in the print business, Tony, but that's what we've got going on right now. Our forecast radar, of course, indicating that we will have some precipitation and severe thunderstorm warning with it. Lots of rain, lots of wind. So please be safe this evening. So we'll have some details on what's happening with our current conditions in just a couple of minutes. And of course, a 7-day forecast and our pick of the day, all to come this hour. Tony, back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. He was assaulted. Still to come on CTV News at 6. A business owner in the Sioux speaks out against a non-profit. But first, let's head to Perry Sound and Point Pleasant Marina. This is courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 21 degrees and overcast. We are back after this commercial break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Time now for a look at the Mayor's Chair. Once a week, we check in with mayors from around our region about issues pertinent to them and the cities they're from. And joining us tonight in the Mayor's Chair is Mayor Paul from the great city of Greater Sudbury. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start with some of the big recent news, the Events Center. The big decisions, the big designs have been released.
That's right.
Your thoughts?
No, we're excited, right? This is a world-class building that we're looking at certainly starting construction in the next few months in the city of Greater Sudbury. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for decades now. The fact that we had a unanimous decision at council almost a year and a half ago. We hired the architecture firm. Now we have the contractor. Things are moving forward. Super excited about the design. We had to obviously we make sure that it's accessible. It's obviously a green building as well. We make sure that we had some great consultation with our Indigenous partners and certainly giving us some feedback in the design. It's all blended in. So this will be a world-class facility in our city. So we're super excited to move forward with that.
Historically, I don't think there's a lot of Sudburyans who will disagree with me. We've had a issue with major infrastructure projects of meeting targets.
That's right.
How's that going to work with this arena?
No, I'm very confident. Like we talked to the contractors and as well as the architect. We had set a budget and we had set certainly the parameters that we wanted 5,800 seats, as well as if we have a concert, 8,000 capacity. And we're looking at a date of spring, summer of 2028, and everything seems to be that we'll be able to meet all of our targets.
How assured are you that the city too, one of the big sticking points for a lot of Sudburyans, because this was like a 50-50 issue that split the city, was the debt repayment. Can we do this? I mean, is this going to be a big project for the CFO when I'm thinking about figuring out how to pay all of this back and not lump it, say, as you know, I'm a new property owner on the property tax owner?
That's right. Well, that's what that was the goal from day one. Certainly we have, we've increased the mat tax, so those are the hotel folks that are coming into our city. So that's 2% of that levy that's going to go in to pay for for the event center as well as the naming rights. And we're certainly looking at growing the tax base in the downtown area, certainly to help support that. So we were making conscious efforts to make sure that, you know what, we've already kind of blended in the increases that we needed to do. So we're not going to see further increases for the event center that is done. And so we're really mindful of trying to maximize the revenues from the event center as well as other places instead of going to the tax levy, and that's what we are going to maximize.
We're down to about a minute left. I want to ask you about Premier Doug Ford's plan to scrap the automated speed cameras. He's not a big fan. A lot of the Sudburyans in my circle, including police officers, and I know I've asked you this before, some police officers don't even like the idea of the automated plan. You're still sticking with it. Why?
Well, actually, I would beg to differ on the police. We just had a police service board meeting, and what I'm hearing from them is saying it's working, right?
It could be working, but there's some police officers that I know, some on the front lines, that are saying they'd rather the investment into the police service.
That's not efficient at all. Okay. The reality is that we only have 6. Toronto has 150. Ottawa has over 85. We put them in school zones to make sure that we are trying to keep our kids safe. And what we're seeing is the data that is actually working and it's slowing down. I understand that there's lots of concerns, and I know the Premier Ford has maybe come up with other solutions, and instead of having speed bumps, more speed bumps, and maybe providing more funding. I'm looking forward to that discussion as to how we can certainly ensure that road safety is a top issue in our city. I hear that all the time from constituents. Actually, we're getting calls from folks saying we want speed cameras in our area because we're aiming for school zones to make our kids safe, as well as areas where people can't even get out of their driveways because the people are zooming by. It's a 50-kilometer zone, yet they're going 80 and 90. That's why we're just trying to get people to follow the speed limit to keep our roads safer. And know what? They're going to get to the same destination within a minute or minute and a half, maybe more, if they follow the speed limits. And again, I'm hearing from a lot of folks that road safety is top of mind. I know it's frustrating, but at the same time, again, I think we have a responsibility to keep our roads safe. And again, looking forward to discussions with the Premier to see how we can keep our road safe together.
All right, well, contentious or not, the discussions clearly are going to happen.
For sure, for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing. Well, Mayor Paul Lefebvre, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
That's Mayor Lefebvre from the city of Greater Sudbury.
Thanks for that, Ian. A Sioux business owner was recently assaulted while trying to clear a person off his front steps who was making customers uncomfortable. And it's raising questions about the large crowds that gather next door at a local nonprofit. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
It was just a few meters from the front steps of his business where DJ Thines was recently assaulted.
Chicken over here.
The owner of Thines Family Bakery and the Catterday Cafe had been trying to move along a patron of his neighbor, the nonprofit Soya, who had said he was arranging his food pickup and would be gone shortly. When he didn't leave, things took an unexpected turn that left Thines with multiple broken bones.
I tried to walk him across to get him out of the area, and then he headbutted me. And after he headbutted me, we were on the ground. I subdued him quickly, and as having him subdued, 2 others from her lineups had come over and started kicking me and punching me in the head.
The bakery owner says incidents, though not as violent as this, became more frequent since Soya moved from across the street to next door, where the nonprofit's visitors can be seen from his cafe window.
My clientele, generally young children, are watching these people fight and do their drugs and whatnot right outside of the building here.
Though 2 of the people who assaulted Thines have been charged, he wants more to be done to prevent future incidents.
To have proper security guards on staff or on hand during their open hours, I know it'll make my customers feel better, it'll make me feel better.
We see them all over town. Does that prevent things? Like, I think we need more servicing of, like, where are these people going to go? This is where they live. Like, so I don't know, but I'm open to suggestions.
While the two neighbors don't see eye to eye on many things related to the crowding outside their buildings, Thine says he has a great respect for the work done at Soya. And the pair agree that they don't want anyone else to end up in the same situation he did earlier this month. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Restaurants Canada released its annual report outlining the statistics of restaurant usage in this country. That story from CTV's Madison Merrier.
3 in 4 Canadians have been eating out less, according to the report. Restaurant dining saw a decline from pre-pandemic level usage.
We finally thought we were out of it and we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Unfortunately, Canadians got hit with an affordability crisis, and restaurants were not immune to that either.
The report also saw a decrease in patron alcohol consumption, whether that be from health concerns, lifestyle choices, or saving money. 41% of Canadians are drinking less.
We deal with razor-thin profit margins, and so alcohol products are one of the highest profit margin product that we sell. And so if people are reducing their consumption, it's translating into we need to find a way to get that money elsewhere.
But how are these stats impacting Sudbury businesses?
It's easy, especially being a new restaurant, to overreact when there's a slow day. The last month, since September, the beginning of September, we've noticed there's been a few days that have been very quiet, and there's trends. It comes in waves, right?
My customers usually, they don't have a problem coming out and spending money on good food, but it's again like the biggest problem is the cost of the ingredients, the cost of the labor.
The reality is we've been hit with the pandemic pretty bad. Now we're hit with an affordability crisis, and add to that a labor shortage that is persistent.
Cormier recommends to restaurants that are feeling the impacts to add less expensive appetizers and mocktail options to their menu to adjust to the way Canadians are trending in restaurant consumption. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Back now for a check on the current conditions. Here's Rick.
Okay, Tony, Environment Canada with that severe thunderstorm warning. It's located in Benny. That's an abandoned community west of Cartier. Stationary right now, but again, the forecast 50 to 75 millimeters of rain. So maybe in that area, if it shifts more easterly, then most of Greater Sudbury will not be affected by that heavy rainfall and the winds. That's where it is right now, but that severe thunderstorm warning in the community, at least for Greater Sudbury, but right now it's west of Cartier, and that's a good sign. So again, let's take a look at some of our current conditions. Right now, Moosonee 21, Cochrane 21, and Timmins 21, Kapuskasing 23. Take a look at the different conditions. Sunny in Moosonee, some cloud cover, partly cloudy and mostly cloudy in Cap and in Timmins this hour. Meanwhile, cloudy skies in Chapleau at 17, Wawa some sun and cloud 21, Sault Ste. Marie sun and cloud also at 21. Down Highway 69, some rain in Parry Sound at 24. Let's have a look at North Bay, some cloud cover 22. Temiskaming Shores 25, some sun and cloud, and Kirkland Lake with the rain as well at 22. Greater Sudbury, some light rain depending on where you live. 24, Espanola 22, sun and cloud, mainly cloudy. Elliott Lake at 20, Gore Bay 18, mainly cloudy as well. 7-day forecast and the pick of the day coming up, Tony, in just a couple of minutes. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. After President Trump changes his tune on the war in Ukraine, next on CTV News at 6, Volodymyr Zelensky addresses the United Nations and warns of a destructive arms race. And an RBC employee is charged after accessing bank records of the Prime Minister. In a forum built to pursue peace, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky asked for continuing support from the members of the United Nations to defend itself against Russia. This comes one day after U.S. President Donald Trump's remarkable U-turn when he said he believed Ukraine could win the war. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
We are now living through the most destructive arms race in human history.
Even as Ukraine's president warned about the escalating dangers of unchecked AI-controlled drones, Volodymyr Zelensky said the less advanced version of the weapons was enabling his country to hold back Moscow's might.
Ukraine doesn't have the big fat missiles dictators love to show off in parades, but we do have drones that can fly up to 2,000-3,000 kilometers.
Zelensky cited success in destroying Russian assets in the Black Sea and key infrastructure. His comments come as the American president takes a harsher tone toward the Kremlin. In the past week, Russian drones and fighter jets have flown into the airspace of Poland and Estonia, NATO members.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
After Tuesday's face-to-face, Donald Trump made a remarkable U-turn. He posted on social media that after getting to understand the Ukraine-Russia military-economic situation, he now believes Ukraine can win back all of its territory. Previously, Trump had said ending the war would require Ukraine giving up territory it had lost. The prime minister said that Vladimir Putin had proven he could not be trusted.
The president, however, has made very sincere and multiple efforts to try to establish peace. He has used his long-standing relationship with President Putin in those efforts to try to establish peace. Putin has failed on every occasion, every opportunity.
Trump has called on nations to put secondary sanctions on countries that buy Russian oil. Prime Minister Mark Carney said G7 countries are discussing such economic measures to put additional pressure on Putin to end the war. Judy Trin, CTV News, New York.
The Supreme Court of Canada has delayed the destruction of hundreds of ostriches at a BC farm. The cull will remain on hold until the High Court considers an application for leave to appeal. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has been on the farm in the West Kootenay region for days, preparing for the cull of nearly 400 birds. The CFIA will remain there, maintaining custody of the ostriches until the ruling is made. The cull order was given shortly after avian flu was detected in the flock last December. Tensions have been mounting at the farm, and overnight a hay wall was set on fire. There's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Okay, Tony, let's begin with that severe thunderstorm warning as issued by Environment Canada. Did a quick check on the systems map, and of course, right now it was located just before 6 o'clock west of Cartier in that Benny area, which is an abandoned mill town. So again, it is moving easterly, and hopefully the rainfall won't be too heavy for the community of Cartier. And again, it will continue its path easterly, perhaps avoiding Temiskaming Shores and North Bay. So let's only hope. The systems map right now, that system picking up some steam, as we said, severe thunderstorm warning, and that will continue across the northeast. Chance of thunderstorms and rainfall for this evening. We'll get into some of the conditions here a little bit later on in the 7-day forecast. But again, northeastern Ontario, here we go. Chance of showers in Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, some drizzle, Temiskaming Shores, showers, and North Bay shower activity as well. And again, Moosonee, clear skies for tonight. Moosonee, that's the place to be at 10. Caphurst, 10, mostly cloudy. Wawa, 13. Chance of drizzle. Gore Bay, chance of showers, and more of the same. Parry Sound with the chance of showers. Here you go, your 7-day numbers. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, showers for this evening. Well, some areas will get that rain tonight and continuing into tomorrow. Tomorrow at 30% Friday, 40% Saturday. Have a look. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sunshine, 24, 23, and 19. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers for 3 consecutive days, 60% on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday as well. You'll get some sun and a little bit of cloud Tuesday and Wednesday, but some nice temperatures at 22 and 23. In Timmins, Cochrane-Kapuskasing, chance of showers for tomorrow. Sunshine returns Friday. Back to the chance of showers Saturday at 60%. Then you've got a nice streak of sunshine here for a couple of days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And again, your temperatures 23 and 18. So again, lucky for the Timmins area, you get through after a day of rain. You get at least a day of sunshine before there's a chance of showers again on Saturday. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of showers for tomorrow. Friday, sunshine. Saturday, chance of showers, 60%. How about this streak? 4 consecutive days of sunny skies at 24, 23, 20, and 16. All above normal, but at this time of the year, you'll take that one to the bank. And in North Bay, West Nipissing. Okay, chance of showers for 3 consecutive days, 22, 18, 22. Then that streak of sunshine begins on Sunday. Should be a beautiful day. 23, 22 Monday, and Tuesday 20 as well. So don't forget, Truth and Reconciliation Day coming up. Should be a nice day. Again, so that severe thunderstorm warning still in effect as issued by Environment Canada. That is in the Cartier area, moving easterly. Let's check out our pick of the day right now. Let's have a look. Hélène Desormeaux, north of Sturgeon Falls. This is Tomiko Lake. Hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Tomiko Lake. Great shot there. Hélène, merci. And perhaps your pick could be on the pick of the day for tomorrow. Hey, stick around. We've got the tip of the month courtesy of CAA coming up right after the break. If you missed the
career, maybe you're juggling family life, a mortgage, and the daily grind. Or perhaps you're eyeing retirement on the horizon. Life insurance might seem like a distant thought, but it is a crucial step for anyone. And that's my CAA tip of the month. Every Canadian wants to be prepared for life's surprises, and the best way is to have life insurance. But what should you look for in a proper policy? Term life insurance provides coverage for a specific period, typically 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. If the policyholder passes away during the term, the beneficiaries receive a lump sum payment. But once the term ends, the coverage expires unless the policy is renewed. Permanent life insurance, unlike term life insurance, provides lifelong coverage as long as premiums are paid. It also builds cash value over time, which can be borrowed against or withdrawn. This type of insurance is typically more expensive, but it offers long-term benefits and doesn't face potential fluctuations or change of value like other financial investments. So, when should you get life insurance? Premiums are lower when you're younger and healthier, and securing a policy early locks in affordable rates for the future. Aside from a specific age, it's good to consider life insurance or review your existing life insurance during significant life events like getting married, having kids, or buying a home. As these moments all come with increased financial responsibility, it's important to protect your loved ones from hardships in case of an unexpected accident. As you get closer to retirement, it's another key time to review your life insurance needs. You've probably paid off significant debts like your mortgage, and perhaps your kids have moved out and might even be done college or university, but you still want to help provide some peace of mind to your spouse or dependents. Life insurance is the best way to make sure your family's future is secure. And that is my CAA tip of the month.
Trade and tariff tensions have been keeping the price of new cars high, which is why more buyers are looking at the used car market if they need a vehicle. But that's causing used car prices to rise. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
With the average price of a new car in Canada over $66,000 according to Auto Trader, more shoppers have turned to the used car market trying to avoid big loans.
I saved about $30,000 doing so. With that money, I got to put towards the vehicle, and I had money left over for other needs.
With the used market currently tighter than usual, it's keeping prices higher.
When there aren't many cars available, but lots of people are looking, prices go up. It's supply and demand, so buyers need to be strategic in order to find that good deal.
Along with paying more for a used car, you'll face added pressure from some dealers to pay for expensive options you may not need.
That's because many of the products and services are very high profit. In many cases, they make more profit on the add-ons than the vehicle itself.
When signing a contract to purchase, you could be pitched warranty plans, gap insurance, paint and interior protection, rust proofing, VIN etching, tire and rim protection, and anti-theft devices. Don't feel pressured to purchase these options without making sure they're a good value. Many aren't. Before you go to a dealer, you may want to get pre-approved for a loan at your bank and check your credit score. If you agree to a higher interest rate loan, the financing could add thousands to the cost of the car.
New cars, you can find interest rates anywhere from 2 to 5%, whereas used cars, it's typically between 7 to 10%. So that really eats away at any savings you get on the price of the car itself.
Do your research to find a vehicle that's safe, fuel efficient, and dependable. Consumer Reports gave high marks to the 2019 Toyota Corolla, 2018 Mazda CX-5, and 2019 Toyota Camry Hybrid. Also get a Carfax vehicle history report and consider having the car checked by your own mechanic. Taking your time and making the right decisions in advance can save you money down the road. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A warning tonight that fraud can happen to anyone. An employee at the Royal Bank of Canada has been officially charged with accessing the bank records of Prime Minister Mark Carney. Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne was asked about this while leaving today's caucus meeting, reminding the public that privacy breaches can happen to anyone, adding that reinforcing the need for strong procedures in place to safeguard the public. RCMP have charged a 23-year-old with fraud over $5,000, unauthorized use of a computer, identity theft, and trafficking in identity information. And RBC says while we cannot comment on specifics of matters before the court, we can share that we independently identified unauthorized system access, took immediate action to engage authorities, and the individual named is no longer employed at the bank. We work closely with law enforcement to support their investigation. Air Canada may be back in the air after last month's work stoppage, but travelers are still having a hard time landing compensation for missed flights and disrupted travel plans. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has that story.
Air Canada is back in the air, though some passengers caught in last month's labor dispute say their claims remain grounded.
They want you to give up, I think, I would say.
Nova Scotian Cindy Byrne's summer trip with her sister and parents to Ontario ended in frustration when their Air Canada flight home was cancelled.
They tried to rebook us on over 120 carriers, but they couldn't find any flights for us.
Though a quick look online and Burns was able to book a flight home on WestJet. It cost her $5,400 out of pocket. Under passenger protection regulations, Air Canada should have been the one booking and footing the bill for the next available flight home for the Burns family.
I need to try and get this money back as soon as possible, right?
The country's largest airline says it's still working through more than 54,000 customer claims. CTV News has heard from multiple passengers who say their cases have been marked resolved, even though they haven't received their reimbursement.
Passengers have been having difficulty submitting their claims to Air Canada, both for reimbursement for expenses incurred and for compensation under the European Union's rules.
You're doing yourself a lot of damage if you don't behave fairly towards your customers.
The Offer family say they've been going back and forth with the airline since their holiday to Canada from the UK went sideways after their flight home was cancelled. They've received some compensation, but not all.
They're refusing to pay for my husband's lost wages.
It is owed under Article 19 of the Montreal Convention for passengers traveling internationally.
The Canadian Transportation Agency says an investigation is currently underway with respect to the Air Canada summer labor disruptions. Air Canada tell us that claims are expected to take between 4 to 6 weeks to process, though the sudden August shutdown at airports like here at Pearson International have led to a significant backlog. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News.
An art exhibit at the North Bay Museum in collaboration with the North Bay Art Association is going to be unveiled on the community's 100 years. Local Color 2 Centennial Edition is the name of the exhibition. It represents a body of work that showcases the artist's interpretation of the city and area's notable locations over the past century. The exhibit will be opening Saturday and will take place at the Farmers Market. Some of the paintings showcased North Bay's hidden gems, from secret waterfalls to the downtown. Some of the paintings are available for purchase.
People will walk around and they'll say, oh, I know that spot. That's my favorite spot. I like the weather in that picture. I can relate to North Bay, Lake Nipissing for certain, and Trout Lake as well. There are some other pictures around too that have people in them and families that have been here for 5 generations.
We had a discussion last year about how the centennial was coming up for North Bay, and just planning as many events and exhibits as we could for the museum to celebrate that milestone.
The exhibit will be open until December in the North Bay Museum's rental and event gallery. It's the latest production from Yes Theatre. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Casey and Diana is going to premiere in Sudbury tomorrow evening, a play that has rolled out in other Canadian communities. The North Shore Health Network is letting the public know that Richards Landing Matthews site will be closed tomorrow. The closure is expected to last 24 hours. Anyone experiencing a medical emergency should call 911. Those seeking care should go to the Thessalon site or Sioux Area Hospital. New research shows that Ontario has seen a 10% drop in sports-related brain injuries following the introduction of a law named in honor of an Ottawa teen who died from second impact syndrome in 2013. The study found that Ontario saw a 9% drop in sports-related traumatic brain injuries between 2018 and 2019. The study also found that sports and recreation-related brain injuries are significantly more prevalent than previously thought. Rowan's Law, which was introduced in 2018 in honor of 17-year-old Rowan Stringer, sets out a framework for how coaches, trainers, and athletes should respond when a brain injury is suspected. Now a quick look at some upcoming sports schedules. There's only one game this evening in the NOJHL. The Espanola Paper Kings are in Powassan. The Voodoos are undefeated so far this season with a record of 3-0. Game time is 7 o'clock. And it's quiet tonight for northern teams in the OHL, but the Sudbury Wolves and Sioux Greyhounds will be in action tomorrow night. The Greyhounds face off against the Peterborough Petes, while the Sudbury Wolves are in Windsor to take on the Spitfires. Both games start at 7 p.m. Yes Theatre's newest play, Casey and Diana, is opening to the public tomorrow. The play retells the story of Princess Diana visiting Casey House during the AIDS epidemic in 1991 in a fictionalized, humorous way. Performers say the play focuses on the Canadian aspect of the crisis with a strong portrayal of the women who supported those impacted by AIDS. Yes hopes to honor those who have passed by shining a light on the topic of the tragedy in a compelling way to draw the audience into the real-life aspect that this pandemic had on the 2S LGBTQ plus community.
Yes does these great big productions, and this is just a really intimate, smaller group, and it's fun to get to work in that different dynamic.
It's very accurate for what happened at that time, but he has also filled it with a lot of humor. Humor was, and again, you know, I lost a lot of friends back at that time. What I remember was how much we laughed and how much humor became a way of surviving and persevering.
Humor becomes such a necessary thing that you cling to in times of hurt or discomfort or tragedy, and especially in the queer community. You know, humor is how you move forward in a lot of ways.
And we'll have a longer length interview with director Robert McQueen tomorrow night on our 6 o'clock newscast. It's being called must-watch moment on late-night television. Jimmy Kimmel making an emotional return on ABC after a week-long suspension over his comments on the Charlie Kirk shooting. The comedian was somber yet defiant in his opening monologue, clarifying his controversial comments while standing up to the dangers comedians now face.
Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Stephen off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous.
On his first show back, Kimmel at times was emotional, saying it was never his intention to make light of the murder of Charlie Kirk, and praising Kirk's widow for forgiving the man who allegedly killed her husband. While ABC did bring Kimmel's show back, the two biggest owners of ABC affiliates kept up their boycott of the show.
Some things are better broken.
Canadian singer-songwriter Sarah McLachlan was Kimmel's musical guest last night. Over the weekend, she had refused to perform at a U.S. premiere for a documentary on Lilith Fair as a gesture of solidarity to support free speech. And U.S. President Donald Trump also reacting to Kimmel's return, lashing out at ABC for bringing him back. Trump also accusing Kimmel of being an arm of the Democratic National Committee and is now threatening to sue ABC. Mary Shelley's Maine Monster is being reimagined by director Maggie Gyllenhaal, and a 1992 thriller is getting a remake. Rick Damagella has those stories and more in the Hollywood Report.
There's nothing left to do now but live.
Christian Bale's Frankenstein turn. The actor portrays the legendary monster in the new film The Bride. Maggie Gyllenhaal directs the latest take on Mary Shelley's creature, which sees Jesse Buckley playing his titular companion. The Bride will scare audiences in 2026.
You think if you try hard enough, you can stop bad things from happening. But you can't.
Beware of the new nanny. One family learns that the hard way in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. This is your first look at the action-packed remake of the 1992 thriller, which lands on Hulu on October 22nd.
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
The original Spider-Man trilogy returns to the big screen. The series of web-slinging films starring Tobey Maguire will be back in theaters thanks to Fathom Entertainment. Fans can relive the excitement during the weekends of September 26th and October 3rd. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
There are reports Washington wants to invest in another company, one that is Canadian. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more on that and other business headlines.
The U.S. could take a stake in a Canadian mining company operating in the U.S. Lithium Americas is developing a copper mine in Nevada. The company's in the process of renegotiating a $2.3 billion U.S. loan from the U.S. Energy Department. As part of that, Washington may be considering taking a 10% stake in the company, like it recently did with Intel. Here's a look at how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar down to $71.95. West Texas Intermediate up $1.40 to $64.81. Western Canadian Select is up over $1 to $51.70, and the TSX is down 58 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $22.96, closing the day at $37.41.11 U.S. an ounce. Silver down 15 cents to end the day at $43.88. Copper up 2 cents to $4.50. A nickel up a nickel, ending the day at $6.88 U.S. a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Tony, Environment Canada has just sent me a note indicating that that severe thunderstorm warning that we talked about over the course of the last hour is now over, so that's a good thing for northeastern Ontario. Tomorrow's forecast, 22, Sudbury, Timmins 22, and Sault Ste. Marie 20, all with a chance of showers or drizzle. Meanwhile, North Bay 22, Parry Sound 21, risk of a thunderstorm. Temiskaming Shores 22, chance of showers. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. And finally this hour, from standing face to face with a grizzly bear to alerting a couple to a devastating house fire, 2 dogs are being recognized for their extraordinary bravery and instinct by being inducted into the 2025 Purina Animal Hall of Fame. CTV's Lindsay Alick has their stories.
In the Northern Ontario community of St. Charles lives 3-year-old Toff, a blind Great Pyrenees.
He saved my life. Like, that dog is the best.
In the early morning hours of July 16th, 2025, Toff alerted Judy and her husband Chris to smoke.
I figured he had to go out, so I get up, throw the first thing of pajamas on to be presentable to head outside, and as I get up, I'm like, I smell smoke. And like there was like the fire warnings for smoke warnings, so first I was like, oh, okay, and then I was like, no, that's really strong.
Chris went from their basement room to alert her parents who were upstairs, but at that time the fire had already spread. Unfortunately, both her parents passed away, as did their cat and 2 other family dogs. The couple and their 2 dogs were able to escape.
We climbed up on the dresser. He helped me out the window because, as you can see, I'm not very mobile. He tossed Aya out through the window, and then he tried to lift Toff, who's, as you saw, is a large dog. He could not lift him, and my husband's not a weak man. He's an Army vet. So he got out, quick thinking. He ran into the shed that's still standing, grabbed the garden hose, jumped back down into the house, made a harness out of it to pull him out.
Toff is one of 2 dogs recognized in the 57th annual Purina Animal Hall of Fame. The other, Knight, a 10-year-old Doberman, bravely intervened during a grizzly bear encounter on a spring hike near Cochrane, Alberta.
I was fumbling, lifting my jacket to get my bear spray out off my belt. And I realized that I'm not going to make it. It's happening too fast. And that's when, so I was staring at the bear, and that's when I saw Knight like leap into my line of vision. He leapt in front of the bear, which then reared up, stood up on its hind legs, and it stood there huffing. I managed to get the bear spray out, and I told one of your other interviewers, I just kept saying to myself, I'm going to live.
Since its inception in 1968, Purina's Animal Hall of Fame has recognized 196 animals, including 168 dogs, 27 cats, and 1 horse for life-saving acts of heroism across the country. Both dogs received a year's worth of food for the recognition. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, St. Charles.
What a great story. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.